The Vivo X100 Pro arrived here. Yeah, it's late at night here, but nevertheless it arrived here, and I thought it might be worth taking a look at this bad boy, especially as this seems to be a very good camera phone. So in this video I want to present to you my first impressions of the Vivo X100 Pro. So let's get started. So here we have the first recording with the Vivo X100 Pro, and you can see here, yes, I was shopping here at Lidl. This is why I'm here currently at the parking lot. And yeah, what do you think about this video quality? It will be a video quality test of the Vivo X100 Pro. It uses the IMX989 sensor still, so a 1-inch type sensor on this device, which gives you a nice background blur, and even in this dim lit situation here at night it should work quite nice, especially with the lights all around me. It doesn't have any issues. Even smaller sensors like the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V that you saw earlier here in this intro recording had no issue with those light conditions here. So what do you think about this one here? One thing that I really like is that we have 8K recording, we have 4K 30 and 60 frames per second recording, and we don't have a slider now for zooming in out. We have a button, and this button is very quickly in zooming in and out. So this is the ultra wide angle. What do you think about the ultra wide angle at night here in this dim lit situation? And what we want to do is try out even the zoom a little bit, because we have a 4.3 times optical zoom. First of all, we have a 2 times crop that I think I can press again. No, only in photo mode. But here you can see Toyota selling its cars. 4.3 times zoom, 100 millimeters. At nighttime, 4K 30, pretty stable, I would say. And the quality looks okay. A bit of noise I can see definitely creeping in there. But nevertheless, let's go back to the best camera. And yeah, I took, of course, some photos here at nighttime, but also at daylight time already. So I will talk about a little bit about my first impressions there as well. And of course, my full review of this camera will be out there as well at one point, probably due to the camera comparisons I will do. And then you can see also the ranking of this smartphone. Otherwise, only my first impressions here in this video. And yeah, let's take a look at the photos as well, and then we talk a little bit about the software. Before we really start with the photos here in the complete darkness almost, let's talk a little bit about the camera specifications. Here you can see the camera sensors eventually. It's quite dark here. And nevertheless, we have a triple 50 megapixel sensor setup with the 1-inch type sensor as the main highlight, and then a 4.3 times optical zoom, which is quite unique, I would say. Never saw that before. 3.5 times, 3.2 times, but 4.2 times, quite unique definitely. And an ultra wide angle there as well. On the front we have a 32 megapixel front facing camera. This sadly cannot do 4K recording, only 1080p up to I think 60 frames per second, but I'm not even sure if it's stabilized yet. Here the photos, Vivo X100 Pro first impressions. Yeah, this is what you usually get in the day. You can see it's like 4 o'clock or something like this. With the Vivo X100 Pro, it's a very rainy kind of day. Already lights going on, but yeah, you can see a little bit here with this ultra wide angle that I photographed that it's getting quite soft, especially not only the extreme edges, but also here already you can see where it's not the extreme edge. It's getting quite soft. It's 15 millimeters. It's a bit narrower than the 13 or 14 millimeter that you get on the other competitors. And yeah, I think it struggles a little bit with the sharpness and detail level there. So it is definitely not one of the best ultra wide angles out there. Nevertheless, I think it's doing a good job. This is the main camera sensor. The same conditions you can see here. HDR is working fine, and it doesn't have those struggles with super soft edges. It's not over sharpening so much. It is sharpening things up definitely. You can see the green grass has a quite natural look, but by default I was using, I think, the vivid mode. Yeah, by default it's using the vivid mode, so this is what you get out of there. There's even the Leica-like look called textured, I would say, with light vignetting. And then there's the Zeiss look, which is like more natural colors that might work as well for you. Well, let's try out a little bit of zooming. This is 2 times zoom here on the main camera sensor. You don't notice anything that this is like digital crop on the main camera sensor only. And then we are coming to 4.3 times, so not 4.2 times, like probably I did a mistake sometimes calling it 4.2 times. It's 4.3 times actually zoom, optical zoom. Quite interesting, quite sharp, very good optical zoom here. And then we can crop in to 10 times, also first glance very good. When we zoom in a little bit, you can see that it is also doing like heavily processing stuff, as you can see here on the sign, for example, where it tries to keep noise out, and also the text is like trying to optimize the text quite a bit. And selfie is quite interesting. By default, it takes this kind of selfie with a special filter that looks a little bit wishy-washy. The rest is sharp, nice. If you zoom in to 100%, that's because it's like the 32 megapixels, yeah. It's quite soft and details are lacking, but if you zoom out, 100% view is probably not the best, as you can see, but if you zoom out, it looks okay on a selfie, and this is a selfie without this effect. Still a little bit of bokeh that you can get, though I don't have autofocus here. Sharpness and details are not really better there on my face, so I think the weak point here on the Vivo X100 Pro that I can see directly is a little bit the selfie camera and definitely the ultra wide angle. Let's go to lower light, 4.3 times zoom. Lower light works also for PET. As you can see, it's not 100% sharp because it's lower light, but it's good enough. It's not motion blurred or something like this. So we have a fast enough shutter speed, I think. What is it here? 1/14th of a second actually, so not sharp enough, not fast enough actually, but probably the dog was then still. And here also 4.3 times, working nicely, nice and sharp. Timmy here got one teeth removed, so yeah, showing proudly his new teeth. Then we have various different effects. I was playing around with the black and white effect, for example. This is now 35mm, I think. Yes, 35mm here. And you can see you get nice film-like grain, which is cool. The 1-inch type sensor is working wonders here, also with bokeh and nice sharpness and details. And the same goes here. This is now zoomed in. This is 10 times zoom. Spectacular looking, I think. You can see even like the little, like someone was drinking milk out of this glass here. Little milk sparkles there all around. Ultra wide angle in this dim lit situation, it's still quite soft. HDR, maybe a little bit overblown highlights there, especially towards the edges. I really don't like. It's just 15mm. Come on, you can make it sharp even towards the edges. Like look at the 60mm that you had on the X90 Pro Plus, was also good. Or look at the 60mm from the Sony Xperia device, also way better here. Also, yeah, I saw already better, let's say like this ultra wide angle. This is now a little bit further cropped in 300mm actually. And to the aquarium shot, as you can see here, yeah, it's no optical zoom. It cannot compete with the Galaxy S23 Ultra 10 times and beyond zoom. I think 10 times can definitely compete here. This is 10 times now at night, and still you can still see lots and lots of details there. So the 4.3 times zoom definitely works wonders here, and works a little bit better than the 3.5 times zooms that you usually have on other flagship devices. Ultra wide angle in night mode, yeah, first glance it looks okay, but if you crop in, it's a modern art. Very soft. Try to rescue with sharpening things up. It's the weakest point here on the Vivo X100 Pro, the ultra wide angle. The main camera sensor also a bit soft here, softer than I would have expected this to be, but maybe because we have a difference between night mode and the automatic night mode that it chose to use here. So this is the normal automatic mode here, as you can see here, quite dark. Zoom, 4.3 times zoom, really, really bad. I'm not sure if it's even using it, but at 10 times it was using it, and there you can really read at least the name of the building there. Nevertheless, forget about the zoom in dim lit situation. Selfies, pretty okay. It was using the screen to illuminate my face a little bit there, so we have like completely darkness in the background, and the foreground is a bit brighter, but you can see if I zoom in here, it's not looking so pleasant. If you zoom it out, even it looks a little bit scary there, spooky maybe. Yeah, works Ultra wide angle again, very soft, especially towards the sides, but everything else is also very soft. A bit dark as well. This is the normal mode. This is just to demonstrate you normal mode versus the night mode. This is the night mode, brightening things up. Slightly different angle, yeah, but brightening things up a little bit more. And this mode took like, I think, 2 or 3 seconds exposure. This took like 6 seconds exposure, so way longer exposure. But it's not better in terms of sharpness or in any way or form. Maybe a little bit more details here on the building, but it's also hit or miss a little bit also with the colors, because the building is a little bit more bluish and this looks a bit more greenish for some reason. Also HDR, overblown highlights en masse with the ultra wide angle. 4.3 times zoom, much better here with the more lighter kind of scene. We can read stuff, even like how many minutes you're allowed to park here, otherwise how much you have to pay. And yeah, the Toyota logo, there's a car there. And then 10 times zoom also looks okay, I think. A little bit softer, you can zoom to 100%. You can clearly see, yeah, it needs a bit of work still. This is a really nice shot with the 4.3 times zoom. The only thing that it really ruins it is when you go to 100% is this like over processing that adds a little bit of weird stuff there. It should look like here, like on the other lamp. Or light, but not like this. It's not sure what it was fighting against. Also 100% view looks a little bit artificially sharpened up and such, but yeah, it is. I think this one looks very cool if you don't zoom in too much. And that's it in terms of photos. What do you think? First impressions, weakest point, definitely the ultra wide angle and the selfie cam. I'm impressed by the zoom. I really like to use the zoom lens. And the main camera, of course, as well. Let's look at the screen, 6.78 inch kind of screen. We have a face unlock that is working quite fast, but we also have the possibility to use the optical fingerprint scanner that you can see. Customize it a little bit. It's not the default one, but you can see it's working quite fast as well. It's not the ultrasonic one that we know from the X100 Pro Plus, but nevertheless I think it's still working fine. AMOLED screen, 120 Hz, 3000 nits maximum brightness here in the dark. Currently, of course, no issues at all with readability there. The operating system is Origin OS, because this is the Chinese variant. The global variant will probably get FunTouch OS, and here you can see Vivo X100 Pro. And you can see 12 gigabytes of RAM. We have the Dimensity 9300 octa-core processors. Also very interesting that we have a MediaTek processor here, just like on the predecessor, the X90 Pro. And the Vivo V3 chip is on board as well for optimizing video and pictures as well, photos for the camera. Otherwise, let's take a look at version info here. It should, yeah, it states here Origin OS 4. I don't know which version this one is here. Currently, let's go maybe to the update manager, software update. There you can see no network connection, but it's not even showing the version. It's Origin OS 4 based on Android 14. Very fluid UI, reminds me a lot of Harmony OS actually, with the same kind of fluidity that we have here, and quite unique of style, which I really like. We have large icons here. As you can see, I can just open up a folder or just open up applications directly. We have nice animation effects, like look at the screen when I turn off the device. These animations here, very nicely done. And yeah, the same goes for all the other applications, like the dialer application. When you see those little animations there at the top, or messaging. In this case, messaging doesn't have any fancy animations, but here definitely on the UI. It's not consistent like Harmony OS has a little bit more consistency, so animations all over the place. Here sometimes animations are missing. I like the customizability of this operating system. You can see I have a custom AOD set with custom wallpaper and so on. Even the fingerprint icon here in the bottom, usually it's appearing, can be customized, and even the animation that is shown when I'm unlocking the device can be changed there, which is quite of a cool setting. Let me show it to you by going into the wallpaper settings. Here you can set this all up on the operating system. Even the icons, the shape of the icons can be set up here, which is quite nice. And yeah, the lock screen options here as well, where I set my lock screen out, and the always on display can be set up here as well. It's not as yeah, not as fancy as with Xiaomi 14 Pro, for example, which I think still has a better AOD, and I think also the AODs on Harmony OS are a little bit more fancy, especially in their animations here. But we have quite a few there that are quite nice indeed, and lots and lots of settings that you can set up and configure your system the way you like it. And let me show you system style dynamic effects. Here you can choose the dynamic effect, ambilight effect, for example. You can choose when the ambilight effect is shown. Even the charging effect can be customized here. USB insertion effect can be customized. Off and on animation, I changed this. By default I think it's the natural one, which like turning everything on from the middle to the outside, but I like it towards the power button, which is quite nice, but only when I press the power button, which is also quite nice. Other dynamic effects are also possible here, so lots and lots of stuff like face recognition effect, fingerprint recognition effect, various different options that I can set up here. So it is very customizable in terms of an operating system, and together with the MediaTek 9300 it's also running very, very fluent. Let's talk about basic information. First of all, the information about used space. As you can see here, it's roughly 25 gigabytes that is used by default when you open up the device the first time. I got directly a new update that improved certain things. As you can see here, 837 megabytes, and a few things have been updated there already, so I'm using this device with the newest update. And then we have also, of course, some benchmarks. Geekbench 6 here, you can see the very high score in single and multi-core score on over 2 million, which is also quite nice there. You can also clearly see, yeah, the temperature was rising to 42 degrees and the battery so 30 degrees rise, and the battery went down almost 10%, so 9% here. But stability, an issue. Some people were reporting already on it, 54.6% only. So you're losing almost half of your speed, and you can see the lowest loop score is quite low on Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 or 8 Gen 1 level basically. So after a couple of runs, you can see the performance is quite drastically going down there, which is a bit of a bummer, I would say, on the Vivo X100 Pro. But in real-time usage so far, I did not notice any overheating issues or slowdowns in the system that could either speak for the system being nicely optimized there, or for the apps not being so demanding. So what do you think about the performance levels here of the Vivo X100 Pro? We went indoors and want to check out some multimedia specifications. You heard the sound. The sound of the speakers is quite good. Of course, the stereo effect is a bit muffled because we're using the earpiece on the top and we are using the bottom firing speaker. The earpiece on the top has quite nice bass to it, but in general I think it's not so loud as I wish it would be, and the bottom firing is a bit louder, a bit more bassy, but the top firing one, the earpiece, is bassy as well. Quite surprising actually. It's very good sound quality for sure, but it could be a bit louder. Talk about DRM info. Here we have white wine level 1. This allows us to play Netflix, also with HDR10 support, which is quite interesting there as well. Let's check out safety net. Safety net is also no issue on this device, so passed, especially useful for those who are importing a Chinese device. So this is no issue at all on the Vivo X100 Pro. So my conclusion and first impression of the Vivo X100 Pro, it's a very, very good and solid device. I like the camera setup and the specifications also of the 4.2 times zoom that we have there. as well as the main 1-inch type sensor. I like the hand grip and feel. The curved edges and screens are not my liking there, and I really don't like this condom case kind of TPU case there. The older one from the X90 Pro Plus was much higher quality here, and I would prefer it over this one here. Nevertheless, a good device. First impressions, this might be the contender of a smartphone for the next year. Hopefully this will go global as well pretty soon, and then we can also check it out. Definitely a camera beast, a camera monster, just like the other ones that are coming out from Xiaomi, the likes of Xiaomi and some other brands there as well. So Vivo X100 Pro, really a good device, and I really like its cameras. So what do you think about the Vivo X100 Pro? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this short little video. Of course, I will do also camera comparison against the Vivo X90 Pro Plus, but also the Mate 60 Pro that I think is currently on the top of my camera list there, as well as some other devices. And you can feel free to write down some suggestions which other camera-centric smartphones I should test this against. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.